medical city is one of the country's most established healthcare institutions today. With its state-of-the-art facilities, its 1,000-strong, globally trained medical staff, and its unique service philosophy at the core of its business, there is no stopping this institution's rise to the top. Today, we meet the man behind it all, Dr. Alfredo Bengzon. A doctor, public servant, CEO, and a game-changer in the field of medicine, Dr. Bengzon is not only known for the medical city, but for using his profession as a tool to break old practices to make room for innovations. Even at 80, Dr. Bengzon shows no signs of backing down. For Dr. Alfredo Bengzon, health is a powerful vehicle for development, a belief that has shaped the values in which the medical city was founded on, and one that continues to guide the path the institution currently takes. At the core of the medical city is a genuine love for learning, which is embodied in the Center for Advanced Skills, Simulation and Training Innovation, or CASTI. So you're saying these are classes going on?
Yeah. These people are trainees, residents, fellows, different disciplines of surgical specialists, and they're trying to learn how to do this procedure in the 21st century way with the use of computers. You can visualize what's going on in the abdomen or different parts of the body by the use of lenses without having to open.
Now they say that CASTI, Center for Advanced Training, Simulation, Innovation, is a representative of Dr. Bengzon?
Well, it's a representative of the mindset of the institution.
And the mindset of the institution is?
We are a learning center. We are not only a service institution, but we are also a learning institution. And when you make the two, innovation can result.
What prompted you to make an investment for this particular field, surgery?
Well,
and this kind of investment?
Surgical disciplines are part of any offering in an institution like a hospital. But the key consideration is there's the standard way, which means you open the abdomen or you open a body cavity and so on and so forth. And that imposes rather strong morbidity. Morbidity means the aftermath of the procedure.
So the less invasive, the better?
Yes.
The less invasive.
That's the logic behind this.
What prompts the need for learning? Is it age? Is it, do you commit X number of hours per year for every member of the staff? Is it because there's a new development? Or, God forbid, a major tragedy, or all of the above?
This is one of our value propositions. All the journey of life is filled with the opportunity to learn. If you don't want to learn, you don't belong to this institution.
Oh, that's a very clear statement.
Yes, yes.
That is a boundary, that is a parameter that all must adhere to.
We owe it to our patients, we owe it those we serve, we owe it those who share our vision and invest in the institution, and we owe it to ourselves. That the learning in most hospitals is confined to hospital activity. Our learning is about the whole journey of life and the story of pilgrims traveling to the journey of life, for which this marks us a special type of pilgrim.
Well, we've just started our journey. I'm excited to do it. A man of knowledge himself, Dr. Bengzon graduated magna cum laude from the Ateneo de Manila University, after which he entered the University of the Philippines for his Doctor of Medicine degree and later returned to his alma mater for his Master of Business Administration. But while he credits much of his knowledge inside the walls of these prestigious institutions, he believes there is much more to learn in what he calls the School of Hard Knocks. The country sees you as both a professional and as a manager. What would you say would you be more of? Is it a split between the doctor and the CEO?
You have to be both. When I went to business school, on top of everything else I was doing, my wife was very disturbed. We worked so hard to get you through medical school. I said, I'll never stop being a doctor. But I think I may be a better doctor. And halfway through the course in the MBA, I thought I would be a better doctor. How so? I could see the field of medicine from a broader systemic perspective. I took up medicine just like anybody else, and I was enthralled by taking care of sick people, making use of all of the sophisticated tools. I thought that was the essence of medicine. But coming now to where I am, the currency of the health profession is the relationship and its quality between those who serve and those who are served. That's the currency of our profession. That's not taught in medical school, but you find
who
that
taught you this?
School of Hard Knocks. This has come from stories we tell each other. And I'd like to believe that this office and the people in the management hierarchy have embraced this as their responsibility to have a different view of how to understand doctoring.
Get to know Dr. Alfredo Bengzon and how the medical city maintains world-class healthcare services by providing state-of-the-art training programs in the field of medicine. This is The Boardroom. From the School of Hard Knocks, Dr. Bengzon learned the true definition of healing and how health is fundamental to happiness, a lesson perfectly encapsulated in the medical city's unique value proposition, patient as partner. Even after 60 years, Dr. Alfredo Bengzon remains passionate about his profession and steadfast in his belief that health is essential to fulfillment and a basic human right. Dr. Bengzon, 80 years as a professional, as a doctor, as an advocate, and you're still going strong. Is that good for your health?
It's the only way to go.
It's the only way. Which is what? The only way to go is...
It used to be said that when you cross into the 60s, everything is downhill. Not true.
Not true.
Not true. You never retire from life. When you retire from life, that's when you are brought to the cemetery.
What is the key to going strong at your age and beyond?
The greatest, among the greatest gifts that a person can receive are learnings. There is no limit to learning about yourself.
The medical city's business paradigm is audacious yet effective, challenging the traditional school of thought in both medicine and trade. Dr. Bengzon proves that profit can be made with honor. You seem to reflect the philosophy of your institution, the medical city. You talk about learning. This is a learning institution.
Very much so.
How does one translate one's personal conviction to an institutional way of life?
Here is the alignment of concepts that I say. Intended, implemented, and achieved. You intend to do something, you have to make sure that you carry it out, and you have to make sure that it is achieved. For example, our value proposition is patient as partner.
Yes.
I think we're the only one that has put forth that value proposition, because in the medical profession especially, the setup is so capitular. The doctors know best, and you patient, you just follow my order. Don't bother asking me questions. It's so feudal. The kind of doctor I would like to consider relating to is the one who says, you have this chronic, irreversible disease. The end is near, as Frank Sinatra says, but I will help you. I will be with you on your way there.
Do doctors, but not all doctors, have the confidence to be able to work with patients at that stage in
Medical
their
city
lives?
culture is what we're trying to build.
And again, this came from where? This is not something from... Did this come from...
We arrived at this value proposition not in a flash, but by debate, discourse, reflection, and so on and so forth, the challenges that are brought forth before you. And so when we decided, I think this is what it's all about, we began to realize that this is an uphill battle. And who are we battling against? The institutions and the value system that shaped us as doctors.
What is the key to be able to get, you say we, the doctors of Medical City, with you in this cause?
When you begin to see that people who in earlier stages think of you as, he's a weirdo, he's not a doctor, maybe he should be teaching philosophy. But if you are serious and you do a good job about your message or the new paradigm you want to install taking root, you have to be willing to pay the price of self-sacrifice. And I'd like to believe that this office and the people in the management hierarchy have embraced this as their responsibility to have a different view of how to understand doctoring.
Today, health issues today, it's never been messier. We cause our own hurt by stressing ourselves out, and the environment is not helping. Has it changed the solutions to these problems?
Well, in fairness to private and public who have done much, even much of themselves, to improve the access to health, there have been improvements, but not fast enough and not stable enough.
What is one of the biggest changes that still has to happen in this country for us to move forward in the field of health?
We need to change our concept of health.
From here to there.
From health being sick care to health being a continuum.
Which is what, again, this institution provides.
Exactly. From health being about doctors or health workers to health being you, supplier, and me.
On one hand, you mentioned that it's the doctors who have this attitude that we know it all and will tell you what you need. On the other hand, it's also the patients who say that I'm the customer, I'm paying you the money, why treat me like a partner? Serve me, solve my problem, and out of here.
That's precisely what I say the problem here. You see?
And what does it mean for me to partner with you so that I might have better health as a manager, as a business person?
This is the age of information. For example, you can't treat diabetes by means of insulin. It's genetics, but also lifestyle. I can give you insulin, you can get all of the necessary technical scientific tools. But if you refuse to change your lifestyle, in fact, in some countries...
It's not just what I take in, it's how I live my life.
Yes.
And there I am your partner.
This is the most important lesson or learning that I need to communicate. Health is so critical to our quality of life. Therefore, we must be co-responsible. People will say, but I don't know, I didn't go to school, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor. You Google, you can get all the information. And we have to insist on that with a vengeance, because until you make people co-responsible, it's not going to sink in. One of the biggest cultural problems we have in this country is our idea of accountability is rather shallow.
What about the argument that not all, in fact, a good majority, cannot afford to be a partner? Cannot afford
to be a partner? Everybody can afford to be a partner. Everybody. What is
the haves and the have-nots when it comes to the means to provide for one's health and medication?
Well, my answer will come always in the form of actual stories and experience. In 2010, I went to Seoul, Korea, to receive an award on behalf of Medical City to fend off the challenge of H1N1, big epidemic. We did not bring any sophisticated technology. What did we do to prepare? We told people, when you cough, cover your mouth, take enough fluids, have enough sleep. The kind of advice that your kindergarten teacher and grandmother tell you. This is one of the myths. And it's a myth perpetuated by the vendors because there's sales there.
Of course.
Okay? And the doctors have been kind of looped into that. Even the reward system among the doctors rewards the use. Technology is important. Many times it's life-saving. But you got to put it in its place. It's also like the story of citizenship. You got to put citizenship in its proper place.
Dr. Alfredo Bengzon describes the present day as the era of ambulatory healthcare. For nearly 2 decades now, the network of the medical city has been extending its services to patients in need. Dr. Bengzon believes this is not just good business strategy, this is a socially responsible move. But it always wasn't smooth sailing for the skilled doctor. At a time when his institution almost went bankrupt, Dr. Bengzon once again turned to learning for guidance and still remained true to his philosophy of making health accessible to everyone.
Doing business and doing good, how do you mix that? You were once bankrupt.
Yeah,
Not
not quite, almost.
At the brink of?
Yeah.
So your advice to those who are in such situations where you have to care for the patient's ultimate needs at the same time meet your bottom line. What is the advice of Dr. Bengzon?
Go to school. And we put our money where our mouth is.
How do you balance bottom line profitability on the revenue side and doing good?
Health, I think, is the most fundamental of all human rights. Because if you do not have health, you don't have a life. You're not mobile. If you are Alzheimer's, you don't even know who you are. I think not to know who you are is to be less human. So we in this profession handle a right that is at the core of human existence. And yet, in many of our communities, that right is at best a partial reality or a total illusion.
The desire to help the one in need, being a man for others, the Jesuit in you?
I'll tell you why I'm so crazy, passionate, in love with this profession, but this profession not just as a profession. This profession and what it stands for, and this profession what it stands for in light of our country. The reason is simple. Who is the centerpiece in the transaction or relationship between health provider and health beneficiary? You call him the patient. It's the one being served. You know? It's not the guy serving, it's the one being served.
So therefore, as you see the situation today, what is the key to transform the mindset of a country to this philosophy of health?
Well, first of all, you have to attack it from the communication angle. And you dramatize that. When you want to communicate something for it to take root, you do it in a dramatic way.
You tell stories like
You tell stories, you do some plays, etc., etc. Secondly, the one delivering the message, individually, institutionally, have to have the tendency to be credible. And then you live out the message that you are pitching.
My example.
We have been accredited 4 times by the JCI International, which is an international organization that looks at hospitals to see, all over the world, to see if they accord the hospitals visited to international standards. We have been accredited 4 times. Okay, so as you do this, you gain reputation and your message gains traction. Okay, and then you live it out.
Working hard at 80, Dr. Bengzon continues to raise the standard and expects no less from the person who will succeed him.
There's no success without succession. How does that apply to you, Mr. Bengzon?
I think the most important thing about the process of looking for succession is to create a culture of learning. And in the process of learning, help people find themselves. So people are asking me, how come it's taking you so long to look for a successor? Our standards are quite demanding. I'm not saying that
You've raised the bar too high, perhaps?
it's the only way to go.
Dr. Bengzon has taken many roles in his life and has excelled as both healer and leader. But perhaps the role he would like to be most remembered for is that of a storyteller whose passion for life and health is unending.
So what is the story of Medical City yet to be told?
2017, we are going to be 50 years old.
Congratulations, 5 decades.
Thank you.
What else is there for Mr. Dr. Bengzon to accomplish at this stage in his life?
Well, helping people and organizations and countries understand health from another perspective. The latest version of it is that we need to understand health as an ecosystem. The health is likewise. There is, the hospital narrative is that we have Guam experience as a delivery platform. We have 4 hospitals in the main hospital here in Ortigas. We have hospitals in the country. We have a hospital in Guam, the only foreign hospital standing on American soil. That makes me proud. Okay? We have 37 clinics in 34 sites. That's another platform. See, this is new expression, delivery platforms of health service. And we network that with the hospitals as a hub and all the others as spokes.
I think that you had an amazing capability to discern the plan of the creator for you, who's created one at this stage in your life.
Well, you see, actually, there's a second part to what I said. The creator customizes a plan for each one of us and then stands back. He does not force us. He just asks us, here it is for you. Are you going to embrace it, or are you going to turn your back?
Well, thank you very much for giving us a glimpse of what we believe is yet to come for Dr. Bengzon and the Medical City. It's been an honor, sir. Thank you. With Dr. Bengzon, I'm reminded that indeed a body connected heals itself, protects itself, grows itself. Let's take this lesson with us in the journey of our businesses and our lives. Join me again next week as we engage with some of the country's top business leaders, executives, and innovators. I'm Anthony Pangilinan, and this is The Boardroom.